Hello everyone, this is Void Spirit. I'm here to bring you guys amazing fanfiction that you will surely enjoy. But before we start, please subscribe and like the video for more amazing content. CH14. Family Reunion and the Truth. This chapter is written by Spirit Rimuru. Upon arriving back on Earth, Rimuru, along with Veldora, Ramirez, and Milam, went to Rimuru's house. "I'm home," Rimuru said as he opened the door. "Welcome home," Asia said, greeting Rimuru and giving him a kiss. This surprised the troublesome trio, and the three started ranting about what was going on. They also pressured Rimuru and Asia to answer. Ni-san, welcome home. Why is Baka Veldora Ni here, and also Milam?" Ophis said while looking at Rimuru and Veldora. Ophis, since when did you come here?" Rimuru questioned, and Asia started to explain why Ophis was there. Rimuru understood and couldn't blame Ophis for attacking Asia, as she mistook Asia as an enemy due to her having fragments of his soul. "Anyway, you three make yourselves at home and don't destroy anything. I'll cook dinner, so wait with Ophis," Rimuru said to the three and went to his and Asia's room to change. After he changed his clothes, he went back downstairs and headed to the kitchen to start preparing their dinner. As he promised Asia, he was cooking curry. Rimuru started off by washing the vegetables, such as potatoes and carrots. He then proceeded to peel the skin of the potatoes and carrots and cut them into bite-sized pieces. After that, he prepared the rice and gathered all the necessary spices. Once all the necessary preparations were done, Rimuru started cooking. The aroma of the curry started to fill the room, and the four hungry horsemen, namely Veldora, Ramirez, Ophis, and Milam, were already seated at the dining table, drooling. "Hurry up, Rimuru," Milam said. "Just wait a little bit more," Rimuru replied. Meanwhile, Asia had just finished taking a bath and seated herself with the four. She smiled at the actions of the four. "Well, who wouldn't drool over Rimuru's cooking? I mean, you have a literal god who is cooking for you." A few more minutes passed, and the curry was done. Rimuru served it on the dining table and took his seat. "Itadakimasu," they all said and started to eat. Asia tasted the food that Rimuru cooked and could taste the balanced flavors of the curry, the sweetness of the rice, and how the mixture of different spices complemented each other, making a delicious meal. "How was it?" Rimuru asked Asia. "It's so delicious. I could eat this all day," Asia replied. "I'm glad you like it," Rimuru said and was about to feed himself when. "Second, please," Veldora yelled. "Dude, did you just finish your whole plate in a matter of minutes?" Rimuru said and gave Veldora a second serving. "Me too," Ramirez, Milam, and Ophis also said, and Rimuru was left with no choice but to give them a second serving. After that, he could finally eat his portion, and they all talked about what had been happening in each other's lives. When Asia told them what had happened to her, the four became so angry that they wanted to erase Rias from existence. But before they could cause chaos, Rimuru stopped them and told them something that even Asia didn't expect. "There's something that you all need to know, especially you, Asia," Rimuru said. "What is it?" Asia asked. "The Rias who resurrected you and the one who killed you are two different beings. I felt it. At first, I thought I was just imagining it, but as time passed and we both went to school, I started to notice that the Rias we were interacting with was nothing but a puppet," Rimuru said. "Does that mean that?" "Yes. The one whom Issei and the orc are interacting with is a body of a Rias from another universe, and someone is controlling it. I can't feel any magic on its body, so that means the body is being controlled by an ultimate skill," Asia continued Rimuru's sentence. "You're correct on that. And not only Rias, but also Akano. Those two are just dead bodies with someone controlling them from the shadows," Rimuru said. "So what are you going to do about it, Ni-san?" Ophis asked. "Of course, I'll help find the real Rias. Just a few minutes ago, I managed to locate their location," Rimuru said, surprising Asia and even Ophis. "Then I'll come with you. If the Rias we are interacting with is different from the real one, I wish to help," Asia said, but Rimuru refused. "Sorry, Asia, but this is something I need to do myself. Since I'll be going deep into enemy lines, I don't even know who I'll encounter. I want you to stay here," Rimuru said, not wanting Asia to be exposed to danger. "But don't worry, just believe in me. I'll return to you, I promise," Rimuru said. After that, Rimuru started to prepare to head out to rescue the red-haired princess. Meanwhile, at a place where the real Rias is being held captive, We see the real one slowly losing hope. Every time that passes by, the torture that Akeno undergoes is increased, and she can't bear to see her friend being tortured in front of her. Just hang in there, Akeno, Rias said as she looked at the injured and chained up Akeno. Looks like you're not easy to break mentally, Rias. A voice similar to Rias spoke, and from the darkness of the room, another Rias appeared. You. How long do you plan to pretend to be me? Rias asked her fake copy. Well, as long as it takes. I'll slowly kill all of your peerage and obtain their heads as trophies. And I've already succeeded in killing one. The fake Rias showed off the twilight healing that she had stolen from Asia. You. What did you do to Asia? Rias yelled with an angered expression. Well, I killed her, but she was lucky. Someone revived her. But don't worry, Rias. I will kill her again, and I will also obtain her newly found powers, the fake Rias said with a wicked smile. Ch 15. Saving the ruined princess. The night falls and Rimuru starts to make his move to save Rias Gremory from the hands of an unknown enemy. Rimuru navigates through the cityscape and looks at every corner of the city of Kuo. After a while, he finds what he was looking for, a crack located in a less populated area of the city. Rimuru jumps down from a building he was standing on and lands in front of the crack. This crack emits a destructive energy that would kill a normal human being. However, when Rimuru looks around, he notices that the same energy is surrounded by a barrier that renders both human beings and supernatural beings unconscious. The only way to get close to this portal is if you have a high level of resistance or a nullification ability that can ignore the effects of the portal. Let's see where this leads, Rimuru says and enters the portal. Once he went in, he saw nothing but darkness. Where are we? Rimuru asked. It appears that this is a pathway towards a different dimensional gap, Master, Seal said. A different dimensional gap. Rimuru was surprised to hear this since he didn't know that there was a pathway towards a different dimensional gap that connects two universes. Even if there are people who could create such a pathway that connect two universes, the only one Rimuru knew who could create such a pathway is Veldanava and he, himself. So Rimuru was wondering who or what made this pathway. Rimuru continued to walk straight, and after a few hours, he finally saw a light. A light? Rimuru said and continued to walk towards the light. Once he got out of the pathway, he found himself in a room. A room? Master, it appears that someone has intentionally created this place here in this dimensional gap, and I can also see that this place is specially designed to withstand the energy that came from this gap, Seal said to Rimuru. I see, but knowing who created this place comes later. I need to find our target, Rimuru said as he activated universal perception. He noticed that this was not a single place, as it was designed in the form of a tower, and there were multiple individuals in each form. Rimuru felt that these individuals were all guards, and some of them were at least at the Demon Lord seed level. After a while, Rimuru noticed two faint magic signatures that were weaker than the others. Found them. Rimuru then used stealth to sneak past the guards of the palace. Upon arriving in the room where the two faint magic signatures were, he went inside and saw Rias, who was chained up, as well as Akeno, who was injured. Rimuru wanted to save the two as fast as possible, but before he could do anything, two guards entered. Look, those two are still alive. It appears that our masters are taking their time, one of the guards said. Hoo ha 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 ha. Should we mess them up? I'm sure we could at least play with them, right? The other guard said. You're right. Let's play with them. I'll start with the black-haired one. The guards then walked towards Akeno and pulled out a dagger. Stop. What are you planning on doing to Akeno? Rias pleaded to stop the guards, but the guards just laughed like maniacs. Let's see how you scream, Gurk. The guard didn't get to finish his words since someone had cut his head off from his body. Seeing that his comrades died, the other guard was on high alert. Who's there? Show yourself. He also didn't finish his words since his head was also separated from his body. Rias, who saw this, was surprised and looked for the person who killed the two guards. She stumbled upon a person with silver blue hair and wearing all black clothes. Who are you? Rias asked. I'm Rimuru Tempest. Let's introduce ourselves later. We need to get out of here first, Rimuru said and broke the chains that were binding Rias as if they were butter. Can you walk? Rimuru asked Rias, and she only nodded in response. After that, he also freed Akeno, but she was too weak to even move, so Rimuru had no choice but to carry the weakened Akano. Let's go. Rimuru applied stealth to both Akano and Rias and proceeded to head back to where he entered. Meanwhile, Asia was still awake at her house, waiting for Rimuru's arrival. Please be safe, Asia said as she continued to gaze at the night sky. Back to Rimuru, neither he nor Rias was at ease since the fake Rias appeared out of nowhere. Although the imposter could sense them, it wasn't strong enough to pinpoint the problem in her surroundings. The fake Rias looked at one of the pillars where Rimuru, Rias, and Akano were hiding. Rias was breathing heavily and almost let out a scream when the fake Rias appeared, leaving Rimuru with no choice but to cover her mouth. That's odd. Why am I feeling that there's something here? The fake Rias said, looking behind the pillar. However, she saw no one, not even a single shadow of a person. Is there something wrong? A voice called out to the fake Rias. No, I must be hallucinating, she said. Meanwhile, the invisible Rias and Rimuru were sweating profusely since the fake Rias came face to face with them while being invisible due to stealth. Let's move, Rimuru whispered to Rias, and the three of them continued to move out. Meanwhile, it had been 3 hours since Rimuru left, and as time passed, Asia became more and more anxious. But that was immediately swept away when someone knocked on their door. Asia immediately went to open the door, and there stood Rimuru, with Rias and Akano, who was unconscious behind Rimuru's back. Rias didn't waste any time and hugged Asia since she knew the pain that her fake self had caused Asia. Asia, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you, she said, and Asia only hugged her, as she remembered that this was the Rias she knew, the person she could call an older sister. After a while, Rimuru put Akano and Rias in the same room that was reserved for guests, as Rias had also collapsed due to exhaustion. Are they going to be okay? I mean, Akano-san is badly injured, Asia asked with a concerned look. If Asia hadn't gotten over her trauma from the day the fake Rias killed her, she would have collapsed due to fear. But because she was able to overcome it, Asia managed to see the difference between the real Rias and the fake one. They will be fine, Rimuru said. Let's call Issei and the others. They need to know about this, Rimuru said and proceeded to call Issei. His message was brief. Bring the members of the Orc, except for Rias and Akano, and also bring Irina and Zenobia.